Boom, I'm in the room. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching or listening from. Now, you're here because there's probably nothing on the telly. And I'm coming to you from the old Heale Manor. And I'm your host, Lord Heale. In this episode, I'm going to have a chat about the DWP and state pension and the effect that can have on your mental well-being. So, this channel's all about taking the stigma out of mental well-being, mental health, and what we try and do is help people. Now, I'm always looking for guests to come on and have a chat about their mental well-being journey, because everybody's had one. Anyway, so let's get on with the Department of Work and Pensions and have a look at the stresses of applying for a state pension. So just recently I turned that magic age of pension age. I just reached 66. Fortunately for me it was 66. Unfortunately it used to be 65 for blokes, but successive governments are starting to push it up, and then some poor buggers ain't going to get it until they're 67 or even 68. It ain't funny, it ain't clever. Now let me tell you a little bit of a story. Now some years ago, one of the governments thought it was a good idea to let people opt out of paying a certain amount of, you opted out of SERPs. Basically, they call it SERPs, which is a state pension, whatever. I took that option. And what you do is you get tax relief on what you pay into a private pension. What they didn't make clear at the time, right? What wasn't clear at the time, that will have an impact on your state pension. Consequently, I now get a reduced state pension of around about 25, nearly £30 a week reduction in my state pension. Fortunately, I was able to keep up the payments into my private pension, because they, a few years after, they took you back in to paying the full amount of national insurance into your state pension. Now, I don't know why, but they term your state pension as a benefit. Trust me, it ain't a benefit. You pay in all your life. Well, some of us do. Those that have worked all their lives, you're paying into it. You pay your national insurance stamp, which is supposed to pay for your pension. The way that it works is a bit odd, that the people now working are paying my pension, whereas when I was working, I was paying other people's pension. So the process that you go through. So what you do is you go onto the government website, go in there for state pension, and it takes you through the different categories of stuff. So it check your state pension age, check your basic state pension, your state pension age, whether you're entitled to it. Now, it used to be that you could get a full state pension if you had paid in for 35 years of national insurance contributions. I paid in 45 years of contributions, and because I opted out, I want a reduced state pension. So instead of getting a £220 odd a week, I get £197 a week. But I do have a private pension to make up for it. So the way it goes forward, it's quite stressful, because some of the language that they use when you're going through this, in these saying that they're threatening, it's a threatening procedure. They say if you're claiming for it and you're not entitled, they'll come after you, get prosecuted. They can come and take money off you. Don't understand it. Anyway, so you go onto this website and there's a plan for your retirement step-by-step guide. It's as simple as that. You go through this and it shows you different things that you can look at to check whether you're entitled, to see what I would say is plan for your retirement. Plan for your retirement. Don't just rely on a state pension to be able to live on, because you can't. You try living on £197 a week, or if you're entitled to the full amount, which is £220 something a week. It's a blooming struggle at the best of times. So the first check one is you click on that and it gets a drop down box and it says check what age you can get your state pension. At the present moment in time it's 66. It's going up in 2025 to 67, and that's for men and women. So some poor buggers, like the waspy women, they have been properly mugged off. So my wife's one of those. She planned to retire at 60. She put all the plans in place to retire at 60, and then they mugged her off. She can't get her state pension until she's 67, I think, because she's a couple of years younger than I. Then find out about working after your state pension. The only reason to work after your state pension age is because you ain't planning for your retirement. Now let me tell you a little bit about retirement. I don't know how I had time to go to work. I'm busier now than when I was at work. That's a fact. If you're fairly active, you'll find stuff to do. And there'll be even more stuff to do. You can please yourself what you do with your time. So I do this and I do lots of other stuff. You fill your time. There are people that work until they drop. There are people that reach retirement age, draw their state pension, sit around, do nothing and die. The government loves those sort of people because they don't have to pay their pensions, do they? Anyway, that's the first checkbox. So find out whether you can retire early with your workplace or personal pension. I was able to retire at 60 because I got my army pension, and I also took out a private pension that I had. Made sense at the time. Then or check how much you get, how much pension you could get. So again, it's some drop down boxes that tell you what you can get. You may be able to pay into a workplace pension. Lots of people do nowadays. Used to be called a stakeholder pension, your personal pension. Remember they all said you could set up a stakeholder pension? So I was fortunate, I did, and I was paying in, £500 a month because I knew I wanted to retire at 60. I didn't want to go on working after 60. The fact that I do an awful lot now, but it's what I want to do. I don't have to get up every morning and go to work. I get up every morning and I do stuff, but it's what I want to do. You can also find out whether you'll be taxed on your state pension. Of course they tax you on your state pension. At the moment, the tax-free allowance is £1,275, I think. is your tax-free allowance. So if you've got any private pension, army pension, they'll tax you on it at the basic rate. And that affects your state pension as well. Now, there is a party, if they were to get into power, will raise the tax-free allowance to £20,000, taking about 6 million people out of paying income tax altogether. You still pay national insurance, but you won't be paying income tax on your first £20,000, giving you a lot more money in your pocket. But will they get in? They will if everybody votes for them. Anyway, that besides the point. And you can find out this details of lost pension, i.e. for the years that you haven't paid in the full amount. And it tells you. And if it's within 6 years, you can make it up. Anyway, the next thing that they come into is you can increase your pension pot. Now, the only way you can do it, not your state pension. Your state pension is if you pay in the full amount and you hadn't opted out. So the way you increase your pension is to pay a bit more into your private pensions or your workplace pension. And that's how it's done. And check if you can pay voluntary national insurance contributions. Yeah. So I don't know how that works, because I don't know how they work it. But click on there and find out if you can. It's up to you. I didn't bother checking because I don't think it's one of them things. But the only way you can do it is do it yourself. Ideally, speak to a financial advisor, an independent one, the one that ain't going to make anything out of you, and see whether you benefit from your workplace increasing some into that, or your private pension, or your stakeholder pension. Then what we're looking at, check what other financial support you could get. So the old benefit scroungers. If you're on a low income because for some reason you can't find a decent job, if you need help paying your rent, if you need help with heating bills. Now, for heating bills, you have to be over 67 to get help with the winter fuel allowance. I fall in just under that. 1957, I think it's September 57, you should be entitled to heating, claiming benefit for cold weather, or if you're disabled. Now, at 66, in England, only in England, you can apply for a travel card, a bus pass. You can get your bus pass in England at 66. A few freeloaders in Scotland and Wales, you can get it at 60. How fair is that? Ain't a fair system, is it? So that's checking whether you're on any of that. And then you can decide when you can retire, or when to retire. If, like me, you want to retire at 60, I mean, I was in a state that I couldn't carry on working. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't have carried on. I left the army at 60, broken. I ended up in hospital for about 6 weeks. When I came out of hospital, I didn't go back to work. And then I retired in the April. So I went in hospital in the October. No, back in the halfway through September, I was in hospital. I came out at the middle of November, and I didn't go back to work. The fact I would have finished up at Christmas anyway, because I got on terminal leave and all the rest of it. But I didn't go back to work, and I came out broken, for which I get a little bit of a war pension. Which, if you're on a war pension, you don't pay tax. Just put that out there. So there, summary then. If you want to know about your state pension, why they call it a benefit, I ain't sure, because it ain't, because you spent your life paying for it. That's the place to check it out. Go on to gov.uk and put in state pension and find out all about it if you're getting anywhere close to retirement age. So there you go, that's it. And it does have an impact on your mental well-being, trust me. The stress of trying to sort your pension out, the stress that they put you under, thinking about whether you're gonna have enough to live on. It all impacts on your mental well-being. They could make the system easier and fairer, but they won't. But in the news, they are talking about something about a triple lock. I haven't looked into that. That's only just come out. So, until next week, when I'll have another topic to talk about. You take it easy, stay low, move fast, and watch where you put your feet. Until then, TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Oh, I've done it again. I've done it again, haven't I? Anyway, TTFN. Ta-da for now.